Welcome to the Chamber Vibes podcast with your host, Brittany Timmons, the Greater Guthrie Chamber of Commerce CEO and President. In this podcast, you will hear from local guests who will discuss topics such as leadership, small business, and our vibrant community. You'll also hear success stories and tips from amazing local businesses, dive into important news, meet community leaders, and find out how you can get involved in our community. From the Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful and historic downtown Guthrie, America, here is Brittany Timmons.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Chamber Vibes. And today I've got my friends Tim and Jess Stegner from Tim's Body Worx. How are you doing?
Good.
You? Good. Yeah. Happy to have you guys on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you own Body Worx. Let's just dive in. It's really kind of the best way to do it. And talk about the business. And then we'll talk more about who Tim and Jess are.
Okay.
Well, Body Worx is my shop. I started almost 28 years ago in that same location.
Wow.
And just kind of evolved to what it is today from a little building I rented in the back. And then eventually bought the property and then started adding buildings and, just been doing this
long time.
Yeah, pretty much my whole life. This is all I've done.
And you guys are located right on Division, so very visible across from the drive-in. If you're not familiar, so we got lots of new folks in Guthrie. So yes, we got to remember that. Yes, there will be questions sometimes we get at the chamber. I'm like, why do you not? In my head, I'm thinking, why do you not know this? And then I'm like, I think today I learned we're the 6th fastest growing community in Oklahoma.
Really?
So
wow.
Way up there.
That's great.
Very good.
Right. So definitely have to give grace, and we've got lots of new families and faces in Guthrie. So how did you get into doing body work?
Well, I mean, I've known I was going to do this since I was in school. So, I wanted to own my own shop from the time I was in the 8th grade.
Wow.
So I've kind of always directed myself to be where I'm at now.
Okay.
I went to Votech in
I was going to ask, did you do trade school?
Yeah, so I did trade
okay.
school.
Okay.
And then worked at a body shop while I was in high school. And then went full-time, from then on.
Yeah.
Worked at Bob Howard as a body tech for a little while. I worked for Gary's Auto Body, which is long gone, which became John Vance's body shop later.
All right.
And then went straight from there to my shop.
Wow. That's so neat. Not very many people can say that they've done one thing and one thing only. You know what I mean? And I don't mean only in a negative way. I mean like in an awesome way, because a lot of people have to try different careers, you know, before they really figure out what they want to do.
Sure.
So it's neat that you knew that at such a young age.
It's the only thing I'm good at. So I better stick with it.
I don't believe that, Tim. Yeah. So what do you guys do at Body Worx?
So we do insurance collision and we do restoration at my Steggy's side of the shop. But most of the staff does insurance collision work.
Okay.
So we have...
Or self-pay collision.
Or self-pay
most
collision.
Most of it's insurance these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So if somebody gets in an accident or anything, they need to give you a call.
Yep.
Take it in and go from there.
And we help walk them through all of the steps because, the average person gets in a wreck once every 7 to 10 years. Some people more.
No judgment. if you're a frequent flyer.
No judgment. So we spend a lot of time with our clients just educating them on all of their rights and how the process is because people don't know when they come in. They don't know how it's handled.
Well, they might be
have to
upset too.
Sure. They don't usually come in happy.
No.
So
Right.
We walk them through all of the steps.
Yeah,
Okay.
the girls are really good about informing the customer of the entire process and things that most people, even if they've been through it before, if they haven't been through it with a shop like ours that walks you through the process, because that's something that really doesn't happen much in the industry.
Right.
And I think we probably do that as well as anybody anywhere.
Right. I can actually vouch for that. Hate to say it, but I was in a fender bender less than a year ago. My fault, and I admitted it there. It's out there. No, I'm just kidding. My fault. It was actually kind of 50-50 fault, but anyway, didn't see somebody in the parking lot. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but you guys took such great care of me. I knew exactly what phone call to make right away. I mean, I think I even texted you and said, I never really wanted to be this kind of customer, Jess, but here we are. So yeah, and you guys are just super thorough. I remember getting like paperwork at the beginning and just, this is what you need to do. And so yeah, I definitely say kudos to that. So how many people do you guys have on staff there?
We have 13.
13, okay. And have a lot of them been with you for a long time?
Most of them have. I have several that have been with us about 7 years, a few
Wow.
that have been there 5 years.
That's awesome.
This last about year and a half, we actually brought in 4 new staff. So
Okay.
we have 4 that are within less than 2 years. Actually, we have about 5 that's with less than 2 years. But most of our staff have been with
Have
us
some
for a long
longevity.
time.
Yeah, which helps make for a good close-knit team.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
a lot
for
of
sure.
them are from Guthrie right here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then, so besides the insurance claim side, you also do classic car like restoration. So if somebody
That's
just
right.
wanted to come in and say, I want to repaint my car or whatever. So what does that look
But
like?
we also do classic car insurance repairs too.
Okay.
So it actually happens a lot. You know, people are out cruising their, 57 Caddy and a deer jumps out or
Right.
fender bender. So we do those kind of repairs too. But
And not every body shop probably works
most
on
body shops
older cars.
won't touch
Okay.
an older car.
So that kind of sets you all apart.
Yeah.
So-
But the classic car restoration and repair, that's really his dream. That's something
that's
he
why I do
loves
all
to
this.
do.
Yeah.
So I do all this so I can work on the old cars.
Right.
That's really that really is the
I mean, he
purpose for
cares
me.
about your 2022, whatever,
Yeah.
but no, I'm just kidding. But you bring in like
He's
a
gonna
60
baby
something.
at 50 or 60. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. Your
100%.
eyes might light up a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So what are some I know I might be kind of putting you on the spot here, but some favorite cars that you've worked on, or maybe like a favorite project that stands out? I know there's got to be like especially a classic car for you, Tim.
Oh, probably that's actually
It's actually on your shirt this year.
Okay.
so it's a 65 Impala, the black one there on the shirt.
He
Okay.
just has an amazing story.
It has an amazing story, and this is exactly why I do what I do, right? So his dad actually worked at GM on the assembly line, ordered that car,
Wow.
did his part of it as it went by, and then has had that car his whole life. Passed it down to his son Alan, which is now retired. We redid this car for Alan, and after we finished it, he actually now is working for us.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
it's kinda
See,
come
that
full
is a
circle
cool
for
story.
this.
I knew a cool story would come
Yeah,
to
so
mind.
that's actually probably one of the funnest,
Yeah.
projects. And Alan did a lot of the work on it as well, as far as assembly and things. So he took it apart. We did all the body and paint, and then he took it home and reassembled it. And like I said, in the course of that, now he does our parts and
operations
and is amazing at it. So
Super cool.
Yeah.
That's
Very,
awesome.
very cool.
Yes, and to have a car like that your dad literally built on the assembly line,
Yeah.
that's wow. That's
Yeah.
probably not a real common thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and I know, I can personally relate to the love of classic cars. My dad has a 68 Mustang, and he loves that car. And it's
Right.
been redone a few times, and I actually learned to drive on the 68 Mustang, which was hard without like power steering and, all of
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
But hopefully it makes me a better driver. I don't know. That's still up for debate, but I have to ask my dad. But yeah, so I know, that kind of side of things. My dad loves doing car shows and things like that. So speaking of car shows, there's kind of a big car show
It's pretty big.
that you all are a big part of. So let's talk about that.
So the Guthrie Road Celebration, this will be its 41st year.
Wow.
And we've been kind of seeing more and more cars each year. Last year we were over 360 cars
Yep.
that
That's a lot.
come. And it's a great event. I mean, we have food trucks and games and prizes. It's an all day. It's down at Mineral Wells. So beautiful parks, shaded, nice and comfortable. And
Yeah.
we didn't actually start the Guthrie Road Celebration. It was actually started by the Street Kings in the early 80s. They
Okay.
did it a couple of years, and then the city kind of took it over, I think, for a couple of years, and it was kind of ran after that by the Flashbacks, which is probably with the Street Kings, one of the oldest car clubs here in Guthrie. And so the Flashbacks had it for many years. And for our 20th anniversary, which was in 2016,
Right.
we wanted to do a little car show, and we started it at the drive-in, and we did that for a couple years. And the Flashbacks came to us and said, hey, would you guys want to take over the Guthrie Road Celebration? So
Okay.
we kind of combined their show with our show, and they were grandfathered in at Mineral Wells, so we got to do it at Mineral Wells. I love the Beacon Drive-In, but it's a little warm in August.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
No
trees
shade.
probably
shade.
add.
Yeah.
Right. Plus our city's, Parks Department, they put in money
it's
into the
beautiful.
park,
So
and
much,
it's
yeah,
just
the
gotten
parks-
better and better.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so that is when every year?
It is the second Saturday of September every year.
Every year.
Yeah, I think it's the 14th it falls on this year.
Awesome. And I know you guys, I mean, just since when I've been with the Chamber, you guys love incorporating other businesses to that event.
do.
So you ask people to give their swag or their flyers or their info, and you throw it in the
Sponsor
welcome
trophies.
bags.
Yeah,
Sponsor
so
trophies.
That's kind of one of the big things we think at our show that people love and ask about every year is because we build our trophies out of car parts.
They're super cool.
And so our staff does that every year, and so businesses can sponsor a trophy, and it only is just enough to cover the cost of the trophy, but it'll say, you know, whatever the class is sponsored by, and then the name of the business. And so we do get a lot of sponsorships to help pay for those trophies.
Yeah,
So.
but you guys let other people, you know, businesses come and or promote their
Absolutely.
items or whatever.
They can
I just
we
love
don't
that.
charge for vendors.
Yep.
So we don't have a whole lot of vendor space, but if they're local crafts or whatever, we want them to come.
Yeah. So there's a couple. There's the
thank
picture
you.
right there on the
Perfect.
screen if you're watching on YouTube. See the trophies made out of car parts.
Yes,
Yes.
and that is Eli. He's that year he actually made almost all of those trophies, if not all of them. And he's a local here in town. His family's here, and so that's one year that he actually made a lot of them.
Yeah.
Super
His dad's
cool.
our painter.
Yeah, his dad's
Okay.
our painter.
I love that. No, they're awesome. That definitely makes you guys unique too. That's something different than a lot of car folks get their plaque, you know, or their picture or whatever, but that's something super unique and special. So how many people do you think you all see? I mean, I know every time I go, it's packed.
Well, it is. And each year, you know, as I said, we're just growing and getting bigger. I know that I would anticipate we probably see about 2,500 to 3,000 people.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because we've been bringing food trucks, and both of them sell out and have told us they sell to 400 people each.
Okay.
So this year we're going to have 3
And that's
food
everybody
trucks.
that's buying food trucks.
Yeah,
you know.
and they've sold out every year. At the end of it, there's no food left. So we're going to bring in a third truck. But based on the number of entries of cars, the number of people that we're feeding, and just the traffic that day, we anticipate about 2,500 to 3,000.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Super cool. So yeah, definitely check out, what's the website for that?
It's www.guthrieroadcelebration.com.
There it is on the screen. So yeah, and they'll
I'm sorry I don't have the current date on there yet.
not a problem. We know it's the second Saturday, so you got a little bit of time. So so definitely check that out. But at least I can see photos and kind of how all that.
Yeah, and you
all
can see
works.
that picture there in the middle. So that is the first official Guthrie Road celebration put on by the Street
At the
Kings at
football
Gelsmith
stadium.
Stadium.
Love that at the Rock.
Yep.
Yes, that is super cool. I don't know that GPS would probably want that now. No,
I don't think they'd allow that.
Chris is shaking his head no over
Yeah,
here.
no, they probably would frown on that, but they did do it there for a couple years.
That's amazing. I love that though. Very cool to see that event evolve. So let's talk about too. You guys love, you know, being involved in the community, and something that you guys have done just really I think over the past year, but you guys have partnered with Meridian Tech. And done a couple things there. So let's talk about some of the programs and things that you have, events that you have brought.
So we just had 2 weeks ago, and we actually partnered with the National Auto Body Council and put on the First Responders Emergency Extrication course. And so
That's a mouthful, Jeff.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
So this is the second year we've gotten to do this course, and we are able to invite Logan County first responders to come in, and we have insurance companies that donate these cars, and they get to come in and basically just chop cars up all day. But it allows them to sometimes even for the first time get to use those life-saving equipment, such as the Genesis Rescue System tools and the Hearst tools, which is basically what most people know as the jaws of life. And we are so excited. Meridian has been amazing in letting us have this event there. And this year, at our second year, they actually helped get grants from the state of Oklahoma to help pay for this event. So instead of it being out of our pocket like it was the first year, now Meridian is helping us get grants. We're going to be able to bring this back to Guthrie every single year now.
Oh, that is awesome.
So we
There's
had
the jaws of life
that
right
is,
there.
That is some of the equipment you can see.
Yep.
So we had 42 first responders show up this year from the volunteer fire departments in Logan County, and it was an amazing day. As you can see, you're actually looking at the cars before they got into them, but it teaches them to get victims out of vehicles. This is what you're seeing on the screen now is an electric vehicle, and part of the instruction is showing first responders where to cut an electric vehicle and not get into the high voltage cable to not get electrocuted. So you can't just
that's a times a changing type of thing, you know.
You can't just open up an EV the way you would a normal vehicle. It has to do with different steel strengths and where the location of the cables are. So there's a full instruction on electric vehicles for them.
Wow, that's amazing. And this is something, I mean, that's just laid on your heart to do, you know, because this isn't something that you have at the shop or it's bringing in clients necessarily. You just wanted to do this, right?
Well,
I mean, that's
yes.
amazing.
Tim?
Yeah, so I grew up in this stuff. My dad was a Oklahoma City fireman and retired from there after 35 years, but also he started, many of the volunteer, fire departments in Logan County, Woodcrest being the first one, and that was dispatched out of my house. My mom was dispatcher, for most of my childhood life.
And look at Woodcrest now.
Right.
They've got new station, and wow.
So,
amazing.
they also started Sooner and, started Oak Cliff as Woodcrest Station 2 originally, and then changed to Oak Cliff. And
those are very busy departments now. So important.
Helped with Meridian and Twin Lakes. Just so many small departments that he's helped with. So it's always been something that it's been pretty close to me, and that's kind of actually where I kind of got to start, was helping build the fire trucks, as we built the fire trucks at our house as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I kind of cut my teeth into body work a little bit.
Very cool.
We were approached last year, first heard about it. This event can only be hosted by a body shop.
Okay.
And so when we first heard about it through the National Auto Body Council, they said that it's not done a lot in Oklahoma. And
I haven't seen it.
He said they've done it in Midwest City a couple times, and then he got me in contact of the NABC, who's in Edmond, and I'm like, I can't believe you don't do more of these in Guthrie. And he said, well, a body shop has to host,
right? And it's got you. I mean, you put the legwork into it.
We heard about it, and we wanted to be a part of it.
So cool! I love that, and I saw that we got some media coverage for it as well.
That is something that NABC brings in. Yes,
that is very.
They actually cover
cool.
the tools coming in and the instructors and stuff.
Love that.
And
very
this time,
cool.
most of the people that were actually there had never used these, so that was more.
We had a lot
of
new first responders that have never even seen the equipment.
Right. Well, and that's something that's probably really hard for our volunteer departments. Like, get a hold of a car and get it there, and then just being able to have the resources. And you guys provided that. So I just wanted to say kudos, because I think it's amazing. And my husband was an Oak Cliff firefighter for 17 years. I don't know if you knew that, but anyway, so he volunteered for a long time, and so we were definitely in that space, and very near and dear to our hearts, just personally. But what a difference you're making, and I love that. So talking about, Tim have been around this and knowing some young age. So you marry into this. So do you have a car background, Jess, or did you have to dive in?
I know way more about cars now than I ever thought I would.
Probably.
But I've dived in 100%.
Yep.
I'm actually vice president of the Oklahoma Auto Body Association now, and our job is to help body shops learn what they need to learn to repair cars correctly for the consumers. And so I never thought that I would be on a board doing things like that, and I love it, and I have so much fun with it. So it's and plus I married into it, and both of our sons work at the shop.
Okay.
And so I get to see my kids
family
every day,
affair.
but they're not eating out of my fridge every night because they go home. But,
so and you get to bring your fur babies too.
I do.
Yeah.
I have my fur babies at the shop.
Yes.
They're my little mascots.
Yes.
So.
I love that. So you just thought, okay, this is marrying into this. So we'll dive right in. So I love that. And you obviously are passionate about it. I mean, because you're volunteering to serve on committees and do different things. Another thing I just thought of that we need to talk about is you also put on a luncheon to help work with insurance agents and companies. So kind of talk about your passion for that and your reason why behind that.
Well, a lot of my reason why is it's not agents that you see in our office. It's people that have been in accidents, and not to say agents also don't get in accidents, but they don't know the process from the consumer side. And so we brought the agents in to basically walk them through the whole process being a consumer, and some of the difficulties we come across with their insurance companies, which they have no idea of. And Guthrie has amazing agents.
We do.
We have
a whole lot that partner with the chamber, and
unfortunately, they don't have a whole lot of hand or control over the claim process. And so we bring them in to tell them how we explain the whole thing to their consumers, and just differences and steps that we can take to help the consumers get what they need to get taken care of. There's a lot of things that they wouldn't know either, such as you have to replace a car seat if you're in an accident, if it's over 20 miles per hour. Most people don't know that. Getting diminished value on your vehicle. If you've never had a wreck before, and your 3 or 4 year old vehicle, you just got in a wreck, well, you're entitled to diminished value, and things like that they just it's not something they deal with that side of.
Sure.
We
And
can
they're
also
not the
talk to
adjuster
them.
either, which is a whole nother side of it,
Yeah,
you know?
correct.
Well, we also allow some talk about things that they could put on their policies to their consumers that would help their consumers in the event of an accident as well. So that's something that we really had a great day. We're going to definitely do that again this year. Probably this summer.
Okay.
We are also doing in June. We're working in conjunction with Meridian to do a basic car care class.
Okay.
And we're bringing. We're going to cover the cost of 30 students to attend the class at Meridian that does basic car care: how to put gas in your car, how to check your fluids, how to change a tire.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, and
'Cause
then
not
we're going to
everybody has, you know, those guardians or parents even, or, you know, that may even know themselves or, you know, be able to teach those skills. And that's a life skill. I mean,
sure.
changing a tire on the side of the
It
road,
is,
that's a life
absolutely.
skill.
And we'll get into it a little bit about talking about how to take care of the paint on your car.
Okay.
And things that we replace.
I need
that
to go to
most
this
people. Well, come on, we'll add you in it.
Yeah, no,
Just,
that's so
you know,
cool.
things that people don't realize that a body shop does. You
Right.
know, your door handle doesn't work or your seatbelt doesn't work. Those are things that a body shop does. And so we kind of go over a little bit with that with the car care class.
Fun. So that'll be this summer?
That'll be this summer. It's in June.
Okay. We'll be looking
It's
forward
already,
to
it's already on our event page on
Okay.
Facebook, so people
Good.
can go take a look at that.
Very cool. That's awesome. You guys are busy.
We are.
Yeah,
very
so in your
busy.
free time, well, check out their Facebook page, or you can see
we
it
have
on the
several events that you
screen.
can see listed there.
Yes, you do.
The first event is actually 89er Week.
Yep.
On the 18th, we are hosting an open house, and we'd like to invite anybody who wants to come. We're going to have some amazing cars in the shop. We're going to have food and food truck and games and prizes, and we're going to have refreshments there. A table of coloring pages that are hot rod cars that people,
Oh,
that
fun.
kids can,
Yeah.
adults or kids can color. And the funnest thing I'm excited to bring is Meridian is bringing their virtual paint simulator and their virtual welding simulator. So you can come in and put on the goggles and like paint a car virtually. So it's an open house all day event. We're actually
Okay.
hosting that because of the truck gathering being
Yes,
in town
I'm
for
glad you said it
89er
because I was
weekend.
going to do it. So, yep.
Yep.
Yes, and
Yes.
then that night will be the drive-in's first movie of the year. And Marsh is wonderful enough to host a drive-in movie night. It's going to have a reduced rate. I believe he said it's $5 a person. I'm going to double check that. And I'm not sure the movie yet, so I don't want to announce it, but it will be that night at dark on Thursday the 18th. And so we're hosting that with the drive-in for the truck gathering and just anybody who wants to come.
Yes. So the truck gathering, this is a new event for
Yes.
Guthrie. Supposed to have around 1,000 trucks from what I
Yes.
hear, and it's classic trucks. Yes, and they're a new chamber investor too. They partnered with the chamber because
wonderful.
they plan to, if all goes well, they plan to come back to Guthrie. So
They do.
super exciting. Yeah. So you guys have been working with them to
Yes.
help get them here and
So
things
we
like
are
that?
sponsoring the event, and we will have a booth set up there. And we're super excited because we will be debuting the Twister. Do you know the Twister
Yes.
movie from 1996?
Yes, very aware.
Yellow Jeep truck that's at the very beginning of the movie, Joe's truck. We actually own
That carried
the-
Dorothy, right?
Yes.
That carried Dorothy.
That's
We
right.
Yes,
actually
there's a Twister
own-
truck.
There it is. And we actually own that truck. That's from MGM. It was an actual screen used truck. And so we've done a full, complete preservation and restoration on it. We are trying to preserve as much of the flaws that were on it for the movie.
Okay.
But also it had to be restored because there was so
I
much
remember you
rust.
saying, like, well, you brought it to Jeep Fest, and it was
Yeah.
like, it's
Kinda
here,
falling
but
apart.
right.
There
I
you
knew,
go,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So it's being completely preserved back to original as we can to the movie and restored. And we're going to do the debut actually at our open house, but
Okay.
it will actually be out and about for the first day of the truck gathering.
Okay,
And
awesome.
we just picked up Dorothy.
Yeah, we just acquired the Dorothy that belongs
The Dorothy
in that truck.
that belongs in the
Oh
truck.
my gosh,
Just
how
went
cool!
to Dallas yesterday and picked it up.
Okay,
So, yeah, pretty exciting.
that is super exciting.
Yeah,
Yes.
anybody wants to stop by and see it, it's in the office.
It's in the
now.
office,
At
okay.
the shop.
Right in the middle of the office.
Right in
Yeah.
the middle of the office.
Dorothy is hanging out, so she will not be flying in any twisters
Yeah.
that we think or that's not it's planned anyway.
Yeah, not
so
one-
yeah.
yeah.
Not-
I'm not
not-
insured for that yet. So
Right. Okay. Yes.
Need to get with Bob.
No, that's super fun, and this is just something fun. So you guys will be. I know you guys have done some like appearances with it and taken it
have.
places so people can take pictures and.
Yeah.
We
and all
usually
that,
get a
so-
call about every year from Waukita because Waukita is where part of the movie was filmed,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a parade and there's a whole day up there. And then we've actually had calls from the National Weather Service Center in Norman too to bring it down there.
Okay, fun. And so you have a new website dedicated related
Yes.
to the Jeep truck?
It's
Okay.
twistertruck.com.
Twistertruck.com.
And I don't have a lot of the photos loaded, but we will be loading the full restoration and preservation process photos that we have along the way.
So fun. Yeah, so I don't know when you guys sleep, but no. Yeah, you like to stay busy. And plus you guys
Very
love
busy.
to road trip, you know, like you guys ride bikes.
Yeah, we
and
do.
so, you know, you guys are part of different groups and stuff with that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like to cruise around.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a group or anything. Just a bunch of us get together, and some days it's a short trip, and some days it's a 10-day trip.
Yeah.
So
well, but we all have to have that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just
Gotta have a
like,
getaway.
You have to have a getaway.
Yeah.
That's how I love doing a Jeep cruise. Like take the top off, you know, just let
Yeah.
the wind blow and just cruise some back roads.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome. Well, I think you guys are amazing. We are so
thank
glad
you.
you're here in
thank you.
Guthrie. I've enjoyed getting to know you over the past several years and been, you know, having been a client and received excellent service. But
That's
just
nice
all
to
the
hear.
different things you guys are doing. I mean, you literally have a whole page of events. Did we cover all of them? Just about?
we
did.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, good.
Yep.
Yes. You guys are just putting yourselves out there, but giving back in so many ways. And I just
Well,
love that.
we love this town.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people maybe not with the small town, but we love it. He's from here, born and raised, and
Yep.
I'm a transplant. Like
Yep,
you.
I'm we're transplants.
But I love it. We love it here, and
Yeah.
we're in a position where we're able to bring some things to the community that we haven't seen before, and we just want to do that. And
Yeah. Awesome. And I know too, we can touch briefly, like you guys had some challenging times, you know, during the pandemic trying to get parts and, you know, people are still having accidents. And so your service was still needed all through
Yes.
the pandemic. And
yeah, we didn't slow
You
down.
didn't-
through the
I was going to
pandemic.
say, I know
in
you
fact,
didn't.
We our business increased and we increased our staff. That's one thing that, and that's something that we work with Meridian about the blue collar trade is we are pandemic friendly. I mean, we are not a trade that they reduced hours or
Right.
anything on. And so we do work a lot with Meridian on helping. They have an amazing instructor there, Jordan Short from Guthrie.
And we love
And
Meridian.
he is building such a great curriculum and helping. We're kind of working in conjunction to build a great curriculum so that those students who are not college bound are still going to learn a trade that they
Mm-hmm.
can make great money at and a skill. And so it's just something
because
we
you
love
never
to
know,
do,
like
too.
like you said, during, I mean, any sort of pandemic, we hope that doesn't happen again.
Right.
Anytime in our lifetime for sure. But, you know, you guys were still going. And, but I just know some of the challenges, you know, that you faced and
Yeah.
hopefully those are better now. I mean, 4 years out, like
It's a new normal, I guess.
It is. It's just
New
a
normal?
new normal.
Okay.
You know, insurance companies, they stopped coming out during COVID. A lot of people are used to the adjuster coming into your house or coming to the shop to look at your car. They don't do that anymore.
all on an app.
It's all it's all FaceTime or pictures. And so that's been very difficult for our
Challenging.
yes,
Yeah.
very, very challenging is trying to explain a damage on a vehicle without the person being there. You have to do it with
Right.
pictures. So but luckily, some of the parts problems have worked themselves out. But it's just what we call the new normal. It's
Yeah.
just the way it's done now.
I feel like that's what we've all had to do. There were
Yeah.
some good things we all learned, you know, from it, that there are the technology out there that we didn't have and now we do. And, you know, like I know in the medical world, telehealth, you know, was there, but now it's even more prevalent and
Sure.
that's a good thing, you know,
Absolutely.
some of the things that
Yeah.
came from it. So just try to be positive, you know, it's
Right.
like it's four years out of 2020 and, you know, but I just know that every industry faced different challenges and
Absolutely.
you guys were definitely one of those impacted. So, is there anything else you want to add? I mean,
I feel
we
like you
can
pretty
kind
much
of end
covered
on a good note. Like, what are,
everything.
I mean, some of your favorite things about Guthrie? You know, obviously this is home. Obviously you chose to start the shop and stay here, you know, and not take it somewhere else. So, want to highlight some of your favorite things about town?
Yeah, I mean, I just, just being born and raised here, I'm just connected
it's
to
home.
it. And yeah, I just didn't really ever have any other, not that there wasn't another option. I just never had any other, even want to be somewhere else. So
Well,
this is where I'll always be, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm a military brat, so I moved and moved and moved, and I couldn't tell you some of my teachers' names, and it's so funny because when we enrolled our kids in school, which has been many years now, but we're enrolling them in first and second grade, and the teachers are going, "Oh, Timmy, I remember you from class," and I loved that. It's silly, but I love that
No,
about this
it's-
town because
Feeling connected.
I didn't have that,
Yeah.
and I was just amazed by the people that would remember
Yeah.
him from class, or I remember your mom teaching, Bible school, or whatever it was. And I didn't grow up in that world. And so that's why I loved it here.
Yeah. So
Probably wasn't always a good reason why they remember
we won't talk about those things. No. Yeah. Well, I love it. Like I said, thank you for all that you guys are doing. It's really awesome to see just all of the different exciting things, and you can tell how much you all care. By bringing these different events and promoting the roadshow, that's a tourism attraction, and then just providing a wonderful service. So I appreciate it, and can't wait to see what else you guys come up with.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I know, I know.
I'm
Yes,
sure where we'll fit that in.
right. I was going to say in
That's
your
up to
free
my
time.
event coordinator here.
Yes,
She
she
takes
does.
care of all
She
that.
No
does a good
pressure.
job. So, well, thank you for being on today, Tim and
Thank
Jess.
you.
Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank
And
you.
if you have any questions, just give them a call at
405-282-5014.
okay, or check out Facebook or their website, which is
www.timsbodyworks, spelled WORX.com.
.com. There you go. Or you can call the chamber. We'll connect you with them as well. So stop in, say hi, see Dorothy, say hi to the
Check her
staff,
out.
and just ask questions. So they're here to serve. Thank you guys so much,
Thank
and
you,
we will catch you next time for another episode of Chamber Vibes.
Thanks for listening to the Chamber Vibes podcast from Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful downtown Guthrie, America. Be sure and check out a new episode every other Monday. And until then, remember to choose Guthrie.